Hello everyone, welcome back to the part 2 session of branch accounts chapter, subject advanced financial accounting for BCom second sem students. In the last session we have learnt about what is branch, types of branch, and an explanation of format related to branch account under cost price and memorandum of debtors account. And also we have done some illustrations which is under cost price. Today we are going to learn when the head office send goods at invoice price. So how this invoice price illustration will work and what is the difference between cost price as well as the invoice price, we are going to see today. When the branch is dependent on the head office will send the goods in two situations. Either the head office is going to send goods at cost price, or it may send goods at invoice price. If the head office send goods at cost price, whatever the cost which is incurred on that particular goods incurred by the head office, in the same cost the goods will be sent to branch in order to sell. When the goods which is sent by the head office to the branch in the invoice basis, on that situation the cost which will be added along with the profit. This invoice method will be used only for the purpose to maintain confidentiality about its profit margin. By supplying goods at invoice price, the branch can maintain the secrecy of its profit earning, and also they will have the effective control over the stock. That is the reason sometimes the head office is going to send goods at invoice prices. Now let me start with by explaining the format which is under invoice price. First let me show you the difference of a format which is under cost price as well as under invoice price. You can see here in the books of head office which is under cost price branch account for the year ended, whatever the date they have given in the illustration we are going to write here. So the format which I have already explained you, so let me say it one more time. So here we are going to start with opening assets as well as opening liabilities, and on the debit side we are going to record again goods sent to branch account. Whatever the goods which will be sent by the head office to the branch, that we are going to record here. On the credit side, by goods sent to branch account, these are the goods which is returned by the branch to the head office, that we are going to record here. The nextly on the debit side we have bank account. So here we are going to record whatever the money which will be sent by the head office to the branch in order to meet the expenses under branch, that will be recorded. On the credit side we have bank account, that is remittance. So whatever the money which will be collected by the branch, that in the form of cash sales or in the form of money received through customers or debtors, that will be sent to the head office, that we are going to record under that bank account. Nextly on the debit side we have closing liabilities. Whatever the liabilities we have opened, that we are supposed to close. On the credit side we have closing assets. Whatever the assets we have opened on the debit side, that's supposed to close. After doing the total we are going to get a balance. If we are getting the balance on the debit side, we are going to consider it as profit, which is in the name of general profit and loss account. If we are getting that balance on the credit side, we are going to consider it as loss, and by in the name of general profit and loss account. Now let us see the format which is under invoice price. So you can see here in the books of head office invoice price branch account for the year ended. So on the debit side we are going to write the same thing with starting opening assets. On the credit side opening liabilities. In this there will be no changes. We are going to write as it is what we are going to consider under cost price. So nextly we have goods sent to branch account on the debit side. So here one change we are going to consider. Usually we write the goods sent to branch account, which is, these are the goods which will be received through head office, that we are going to record on the debit side. Whatever the goods which will be returned by the branch, that will be recorded on the credit side. So in the invoice price method, goods received from head office, goods returned by branch will be recorded in the same side. So two goods sent to branch account, with the less we are going to consider return. You can minus the return, whatever the goods which will be sent by the branch to the head office, that we are going to deduct, and we are going to write the total here. Next, on the debit side, we are going to consider bank account. So this is the bank account which we consider in the cost price method. Same will be applicable here. So whatever the money which will be sent by the head office to the branch to meet the expenditures related to branch, that will be entered here. On the credit side, by branch bank account, that is a remittance which is through cash sales and receipt from debtors or customers. So this is the income which will be earned by the branch, and this is the income which will be sent to the head office. So whatever the income which will be sent to the head office, that we are going to record here. And the next thing, on the debit side, we are going to close the liabilities. Whatever the opening liabilities we have opened on the credit side, that will be closed on the debit side. Whatever the opening assets we have entered on the debit side, that assets should be closed on the liability side, sorry, on the credit side. Next, most importantly, we have 3 new accounts that will be added under invoice price method. So first, on the debit side, to stock a reserve account, which is a profit included in the closing stock. So as I told you, the invoice price will be used to maintain the confidentiality about profit margin, and under invoice price the cost will be added along with the profit. So that profit will be in the form of stock or in the form of goods sent to branch. So while doing under invoice price method, so for both opening stock, closing stock, whatever the goods which will be sent by the head office to the branch, on these 3 amounts the profit will be included. So that profit we need to segregate and we need to show separately. So here, to stock reserve account, whatever the closing stock we have entered on the credit side, that closing stock, for that closing stock we are going to find out whatever the profit amount which is included on that. On the credit side, we have by stock reserve account, the same manner whatever the opening stock we have opened under opening assets, on that opening stock there will be some profit which will be added along with the cost. That profit we are going to find out and we are going to record here. So next, we have buy goods sent to branch account. So here, whatever the goods which will be sent to the branch, that is on the debit side, you can see goods sent to branch account less returns. After returning the goods, whatever the amount we are going to get, for that amount we need to find out what is the profit added to that. For that we are going to find out by using the percentage which will be given in the illustration. So after recording these 3 entries, so we are going to find out the total, and if you are getting the balance on debit side, it will be considered as profit. If you are getting balance on credit side, it will be considered as loss. That will be recorded in the name of general profit and loss account. If goods are sent at invoice price, when they are sending goods to the branch at invoice price method, they need to mention the profit percentage in the illustration, because to show how much profit they are adding for that stock or goods. So here, if goods are invoiced at profit, that profit may be on the sales or profit may be on the cost. They may give in the illustration. So they may give a profit on cost or they may give profit on sales. So I've also given small example here. If they give profit of 20% in the illustration, if they said that profit is on sales, then whatever the amount we have, for that particular amount we are going to do directly 20 divided by 100. If it is on the cost, we are going to consider amount into 20 divided by 120, as we will not be having any cost at all, because that is added to profit. For that cost the profit will be already added. That is the reason the amount we are going to multiply with the 20 divided by 120 under profit on cost. So rest of the things, that is memorandum of debtors account, will be same. Whatever the format, whatever the information we know under cost price, the same will be applicable here. So on the debit side, missing figures may be opening balance or credit sales. On the credit side, missing figures may be closing balance or cash. So these missing informations we are going to find out, and we are going to transfer that to the branch account in order to get final output. Now let us start with one illustration which is under invoice price method. Johnson and Company has a branch at Calcutta. Goods are invoiced at the branch at cost plus 25%. So here you can see Johnson and Company has a branch in Calcutta. They are sending goods at invoice price method at a cost plus 25%. They are sending the goods at profit on cost. Branch is instructed to deposit cash every day in the head office account with the bank. So they have instructed the branch to deposit cash every day. Whatever the income they used to get through cash, that cash should be deposited to head office. They have said all expenses are paid by checks by the head office except petty cash expenses which are paid by the branch manager. So here for the petty cash expenses they are not paying any money, but that is paid by the branch manager itself. So if the petty expenses are paid by branch manager, then we are supposed to do some calculation that I'll tell you later. Next, from the following particulars, prepare branch account in the books of head office. Now we have the information of stock on 1st April 2013, stock on 31st March 2014, sundry debtors on 1st April 2013, sundry debtors on 31st March 2014, cash sales for the year, credit sales for the year, cash remitted to head office, furniture purchased by the branch manager, goods invoiced from the head office, expenses paid by the head office, expenses paid by the branch. Now let us start with the solution. First thing, in the illustration they have given information related to debtors. They have given opening debtors, they have given closing debtors. So we need to prepare debtors account compulsorily, and we'll get to know what information we are going to find out. That information we are going to enter on the branch account. So before starting the account, let us mark what information will be related to memorandum of debtors account. So in the illustration you can see sundry debtors on 1st April 2013, it is also related to debtors account. Sundry debtors on 31st March 2014, it is also related to debtors account, and also credit sales for the year, it is also related to debtors account. And apart from that, in the illustration we don't have any information related to debtors account. So let us start with the solution. You can see the format here, memorandum of debtors account. Debit side have some items, on the credit side we have some items. By filling the information, first sundry debtors on 1st April 2013, amount of rupees 1400, that I'm supposed to record. So to opening, it will be an opening balance which is on the opening day, so 1400 will be opening balance. So next item we have, that is sundry debtors on 31st March 2014, that is 1800. That is the closing date. On that closing date we have a sundry debtors, that is the closing balance which is on the credit side, amount of rupees 1800. So apart from that we have one more information in the illustration, which is credit sales for the year, that is the amount of rupees 7000. So that credit sales which we have in the memorandum of debtors account on the debit side, credit sales of rupees 7000. Apart from this, in the illustration we don't have any other information which is related to memorandum of debtors account. So now we can do the total. And remember, in the illustration by bills receivable received we don't have any information, that will be nil. So cash I'm leaving as it is. It may be the missing information, that is the reason I'm leaving it. Sales return will be nil, bad debts will be nil, discount allowed will be also nil, and bills receivable dishonored also will be nil. So cash will be the missing information in this illustration. So let me do the total. The total will be more on debit side. Usually that total I'm going to write a record in the credit side, and I'm going to find out the missing amount which is related to cash. The missing amount will be 6600. So cash received through debtors or from customers, so will be the missing information. Now let us start by preparing a branch account under invoice price method. So I have already made columns in the books of Johnson and Company, that is head office. Financial year is very important. It is started from 1/4/2013 to 31/3/2014. So Calcutta branch account for the year ending 31/3/2014. So as we know, we are going to always start from the debit side by starting with two opening assets which will be on the debit side. So under opening assets, we need to see what kind of assets will be opened in the year of 1st April 2013. So as you can see in the illustration, we have first one, stock on 1st April 2013 for the amount of rupees 2500. So to stock at branch, amount is 2500. I'm going to enter that. So after that, we on the opening day, we have debtors also, sundry debtors on 1st April 2013, that is the amount of rupees 1400. So to debtors at branch, amount is 1400. Next, in the illustration we don't have any other opening values, but always think one thing. So we need to open an account for petty cash also, so that is also very much important. So in the illustration we don't have any petty cash opening balance, even though we need to open an account. Maybe in the closing day we may have some petty cash expense closing balances. In the illustration, furniture is also purchased, that is the reason I'm opening account for petty cash as well as furniture, but both the accounts will be nil. We don't have any opening balance on that particular opening day. So on the closing day we may have balances, that is the reason I have opened. So next thing we need to record with, on the closing opening liabilities, we don't have any opening liabilities in the illustration, so that is the reason I'm entering it as nil under opening liabilities. So next I required with, on the debit side, 2 goods sent to branch. So whatever the goods which will be sent by the head office to the branch, we are going to record. So in the illustration you can see goods invoiced from the head office. So they have sent goods at invoice price, which is the amount of rupees 18,200. I am writing in the inner column. I need to minus returns. In the illustration, branch is not sending any goods to the head office, they are not returning any goods, so that is the reason that particular column will be nil, and I am going to do the total will be same, 18,200. So next I required with 2 bank account. So on the bank account, whatever the money which will be sent by the head office to the branch, that we are going to record. So here expenses paid by the head office. In order to meet the expenses of branch, the head office had sent some of the money, 1640 rupees, that I have recorded. On the credit side I need to record with by bank account, which is remittance. It may be cash sales or cash received from debtors, whatever the income which is sent to the head office. So here they have given in the name itself, that is cash remitted to the head office. They have already given the full information, 15,000, and also we have cash sales in the problem, cash received from debtors also, but we are not going to record that. Here they have already directly said that the money which is remitting to the head office, that is the reason I have entered the 15,000 directly. Next I need to close the assets. So while closing the assets, first always I need to consider whatever the opening assets I have entered, that should be closed. By starting with stock at branch, 3000 I need to close. Next I need to close the debtors account. So sundry debtors on 31st March 2014 also we have, so I need to close by debtors at branch with the amount of 1800. I have opened a petty cash at branch. So petty cash at branch, I don't have any particular information as a closing balance. Next opening asset we have opened in that is petty cash at branch, that we are supposed to close by petty cash at branch, but in the illustration they have not given any closing balance which is related to petty cash. But even though we can find out the closing balance of the petty cash in some illustration, let me check whether there will be closing balance or not. So in the illustration, first always we need to find out how much the branch is earned as an income. So in the illustration the branch is earned income in 2 ways. So let us see what income which will be earned by the branch. So one income which is earned by the branch is cash sales. So here you can see cash sales for the year they have earned as a 10,800, and also one more income which will be earned by them. So what we have find it out in by preparing memorandum of debtors account. So that is nothing but cash. So cash received through debtors or cash received from debtors, you can see here 6600. So these two are the income which will be generated by them. Cash sales of 10,800 plus cash received from debtors 6,600, totally will be 17,400. From this income we need to deduct what is the expenditures incurred by the branch. So whatever the expenditures which will be met by branch, we need to minus, then we will get a closing balance of cash. So here 17,400, so we are going to minus some of the expenditure. In the illustration we have one expenditures, that is the money which will be sent to the head office. So whatever the money which will be sent to the head office, that first we need to deduct, that is 15,000 we are going to deduct. Along with that, they have purchased one furniture and they have spent some expenditure by the branch manager. So here you can see 10,800, 6,600 is the total income, 17,400. From that we need to minus 15,000 which is sent to the head office, 1,200 for furniture and 120 for expenditure made by the branch manager. So after deducting everything, we need to see for furniture closing account. So as I told you, the furniture will not have any opening balance, but in between the year they have purchased one furniture. That furniture value is 1,200, so that will be the closing value for that particular year. So that is the reason I have entered 1,200. On the closing liability, we don't have anything because the opening liability will be nil, closing liability also will be nil. So next, the main thing, we need to record stock reserve account on the debit side. So on the debit side, so whatever the stock which is opened on the credit side, that is closing stock, we have stock at branch, the closing stock, and also we need to remember the percentage, what percentage they have given. Here in the illustration they have given on the percentage of cost plus 25%, so that is on profit on cost. So closing stock in the illustration we have, you can see on the credit side closing stock is 3,000, so I have taken it as 3,000 into 25 divided by 125, as the profit is on cost. If it is on sales, you can take 25 divided by 100. It is on cost, that is the reason I need to take 25 divided by 125. So if I take that 25 divided by 125 on 3000, I'll get an amount of rupees 600, so which I have recorded. So this is the one in stock reserve account I need to enter. In closing stock, 600 is added as a profit. So in the 3,600 is profit. Now on the credit side, by stock reserve account, on the opening stock is 2,500 into 25 divided by 125 is 500. So on 2,500, 500 is the profit which is added to that. Next I need to find out one more entry, that is by goods sent to branch. So goods sent to branch, on the debit side we have 18,200, so on that also I need to calculate 25 divided by 125, I'll get 3,640. On that 18,200, 3,640 is the profit margin we are supposed to calculate. So after this you need to do the total. The more amount of total is on credit side, 26,220, which I have entered on debit side, same total. So as you know, general profit and loss account is the balance, that is nothing but profit and balancing figure. And lastly we'll get a balance of 1,880. So this is the balance which will be considered as profit in the name of general profit and loss account. In this illustration, we need to find out a petty cash very carefully. So by doing the total income and by minusing amount which is sent to head office and expenditures made by branch, so we'll get a closing balance of petty cash, as well as the furniture purchased in between the year. That is the reason it won't have any opening balance, it will have closing balance with the same amount. We don't have any depreciation to minus it. So apart from this, the new thing is stock reserve account on both the sides. On the debit side we are going to do the reserve account for closing stock. On the credit side we are going to do reserve account for opening stock. So for closing stock, while we are doing reserve account and also goods sent to branch account, so we need to see the profit, what margin they have given, whether it is on cost profit on cost, or whether it is on profit on sales. If it is profit on cost, we need to do the percentage divided by 100, whatever plus whatever the profit percentage they have given, that we are supposed to add, like 3000 into 25 divided by 125. On the credit side, we are going to do that for opening stock. Along with that, one more entry which is on goods sent to branch. So for that also we are going to apply that margin. So only reason why we need to enter these three more in the sense, in order to see how much the profit which is included on that stock as well as goods which is sent by the head office. So that is the reason we are going to find out this separately. And in the last, as usual, everything will be similar to cost price method. And also in this video I have given one more illustration to solve by yourself. So please solve this illustration, and if you are having any doubts, please mention in the comment section, so I'll try to clarify it. Thank you for watching.